Morning, how are we all this morning? So I have decided to jump in and have a conversation about what I feel that is going to be uncovered, revealed in the next 6 months. 6 to 8 months is actually what I want to say at a deeper level. And when I say that, I feel like collectively, it's a conversation that everyone is too scared to have or speak to, in fear of being judged, but also in fear of actually talking about their own personal experiences at some level and a soul level. And obviously 2020 was part of there's a police car. Part of a transition for the collective, and us opening to other conscious energies and other becoming more aware of the information that we consumed, our environment, our spiritual environment, other realms, energies, and we are slowly being open and cracked open to that, if that makes sense. And so I want to talk about others, UFOs, aliens, light beings, whatever that sits in whatever realm for you, because it's actually all the same. And I want to have a conversation today about this. So I do feel, and I know, that we will be, over the next 6 to 8 months, experiencing more of an opening and more information in the collective and the media, and more information is going to be revealed around others, UFOs, light beings. And it's going to be started to become more mainstreamed into our conscious thinking. And you know, when I say that, I feel like we are in a soft opening of really our awareness coming into a more awakened form. And if it all got exposed in one hit, I don't think people would very much be able to cope. The masses wouldn't be able to cope with the information. So I feel like it's going to be drip fed to us. And so, you know, in society, we're very much run on a fear-based model. And, you know, this is about us not being in fear. It's about us actually knowing who we are and knowing what is real, and knowing, you know, being more connected to ourselves. And that's what this whole everything's about right now, is about us really starting to identify with who we are and how that sits in our own sense of self and our own knowing. So I think we are going to have mass disclosures starting to come in the next 6 to 8 months, and it's going to come subtly. I also feel that because of this, there's going to be more information, and we are going to be fed a narrative around fear-based that's going to keep us more collectively in fear. For my own self, you know, I've had my own connection with others, with light beings, and I've had one as a human encounter with a light being, and I'm going to talk about that, and another that has been, you know, come to me in my dreams, come to me in dream state, through astral travel, through meditation. So about 2 years ago, actually at the supermarket, I remember, you know, I very much was, you know, in the closet, living in the closet experience spiritually. And I always have had an understanding that we're not the only humans, we're not the only people in this realm. living amongst us. There are other dimensions and other people that are living amongst us that we aren't aware of fully seeing. And through my experiences as a counsellor, you know, obviously energy and the comfortability of other people's energies, whether that be addictions, whether that being rape, whether that being sexual assaults, in whatever capacity, I have learnt how, because I haven't had all of those experiences in this lifetime, but I've learnt how that energy sits on my body. And so I remember this day walking actually at the supermarket, and I was walking around the supermarket just like in my own little world, doing the grocery shopping as you do. And I remember going through down an aisle and like just looking at someone. And so look, when I see people or spirit, you know, I can very much tell the difference between a physical person and a spirit in spirit. And I remember looking at this person going, oh, that's spirit there. Oh, that's spirit. And then realizing that how I was feeling internally and that energy of what that felt like wasn't actually spirit. And I remember going to myself at that particular moment at that time, oh, fuck, this is weird. I haven't had this feeling before with anything or with anyone, or it's not energy of sexual assault, rape, you know, going through like my memory bank, because I call it a memory bank of energy feelings. And I remember sitting there going, oh my God, this is like out of the box. And I remember looking at this person, and it was like I saw them. And I remember in my head telepathically communicating with this person, being like, I've seen them. And I remember walking past them going, that is a really weird energy. That is a really weird feeling. I've never had that before. And I remember walking away, going around the corner going, oh, I'll see them in the next aisle, and I'm actually going to see them and really feel into this energy again at another level. And I wasn't scared. I wasn't, because they just looked like me. I wasn't scared. I wasn't worried. And then they weren't in the next aisle. And I remember looking around the supermarket going, how can that be possible that they've just disappeared? Like, how can that actually be possible? And I remember coming home, and I had a conversation with a couple of really close friends about this. And I remember going, oh, I've never had that ever before. And that's when I realized that it was a dimensional being not from this planet, but appeared to look like me. And so that is one form of how they show up in this universal earth. And in human form. They're not here to harm us. They're here to gather information. They're here to gather information, and they're here to assess humanity and help humanity's consciousness rise and make sure that they're here to help us in greater spiritual advancement and healing. That's why they're here to help. My second encounters, and this happens quite frequently to me, and I can't believe I'm speaking this, but it's my truth, so it's about not hiding, is they come in the non-physical and communicate with me in the non-physical manner. So they communicate with me in dream time, when I'm astral traveling, and through meditation. When I'm in meditation, I have been transmuted into other dimensions that at the time my first time I was a little bit scared, but the second time a little bit scared, but the love and the energy that comes from these beings is like nothing you've ever experienced. It is and they're there just to have a conversation. They're luminous. They come as not looking like you and me. They come as light beings. Some come with no hands, some come tall and thin, some come with crystals in their foreheads. They normally come to me in threes. One came about a week ago, and I actually, for the first time, it was a different form of a light being, and I remember going, what the hell is happening? I woke up. I was initially afraid because they were standing over me at the end of my bed. I remember saying the Lord's Prayer and asking for them to leave and kind of appelling my energy field out, and then them coming back, and I could feel coding being entered through my crown chakra and coding coming in. And coding is also another form of how they communicate with us at a different dimension and a different frequency. Their frequencies are very high vibrational. They're here for vibrational frequencies of healing us through our own trauma, healing us through our own health, healing the planet, and healing the collective energy. They're more supporting us now globally, and more as we spiritually advance and become more aware. They are coming down to support the humanity and the collective energy. They're not here to harm us in any means. My first time that I ever heard of the word UFO was actually from my father's lips. And my dad doesn't lie. Never has, never will. And I know that there's a lot of people in this group that will know my dad. And I remember him growing up in St Andrews, and I remember he used to get up early in the mornings and at random times, and I remember him waking us up to tell us that there was a flying saucer, a UFO, and he saw it over the sea and it went into the ocean. And I remember that as a family it was something we couldn't speak about because we didn't want my dad to be judged. And so it was something growing up in a small community that we never spoke about. But what I know to be so true is my dad would not lie. And so as a conversation as a family, it is something that we have talked about, and I've talked about with Dad. I believe that what they do is they enter our ocean floor and drop transmitter beams to rebalance the energy on the earth plane. I think that some of the information that is going to come out in the next 6 to 8 months is actually going to be driven through fear. And my personal experience is I've had more than one experience. It has never been out of harm. It has always been for my highest good. And so, if we believe that we are the only people or physical beings or spiritual beings in this realm of planets, we have a lot to wake up to, because there is a lot more. If you were to do some research in Australia, in a desert, Australia isn't all owned by Australia. It's actually also owned by, there's a piece of land that's owned by the American government that is actually a American military base that is like hidden. Not hidden, or it's there, but it's not hidden, but it's like, secret. You have to ask yourself the questions. What happens on that base, and why is that there, and why does America own a piece of Australian land? And it's because it's what they're doing there, or how they're gathering information and collecting information and data. And so the more that we spiritually advance, the more that others, light beings, UFOs, whatever you want to call it, the more that we will become aware that we're not the only dimensional being on this planet, surrounding this planet, in the atmosphere. So yeah, I think that's all I want to share today. But when more of this starts to open into the collective energy, remember to know who you are, and remember, you know, that not all the information that we are consumed through social media and the media, and this is what we know to be truth by some of the content and, you know, some of the posts that I've posted in this space, is not always it's not always the truth. It's about not keeping us awakened, and it's about keeping us in fear. Have a fabulous day. Enjoy the day, and just sit with it. Just sit with it.